How's it going, everyone? It's Comrade Poco, and welcome to the journey of looking through all the NFL teams and my perspective on all of them. Today we're looking at the AFC West, and to start with the Denver Broncos. This is a weird team. They got Demaryius Thomas, they got Emmanuel Sanders. They were only good while Peyton Manning was there, so I don't think they're as good as their contract says they are. They got Cortland Sutton, though. I believe he will be definite improvement, for sure. Looking at the line is still bad. I mean, they got one or two okay guys, but most of them are bad. Need to go. I like the Royce Freeman pick up a running back. He's one of very, very versatile running back that I really like. But this right here, everyone is saying they're good again because they have a quarterback. Case Keenum, even though he had everything going for him, had a good enough offensive line, had a good run game, like pretty good receiving core, only had a passer rating of 87.6 on average. You know, with that type of setup, he needs more. He's good enough to be a bridge. He might be able to get you somewhere, but I do not think he's good enough to actually win. And especially not by downgrading his receiving core, his line, and his running backs. Now, the defense. We're looking at Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. That is going to be probably one of the scariest pass rush duos we will see this year. If you're getting fancy, though, that's a great one to pick. Just the sacks are going to be enormous. Then we got Chris Harris. One of the last parts of the no-fly zone. Sad to see it go, but needed to. We have Brandon Marshall. Not as good as he used to be, but I'm still hanging in. I really don't know too much more about this team in particular. But they have, I think they'll do better than what they did last time. But they will for sure not be as good as everyone might be hyping them up to be. So the Kansas City Chiefs now. They have Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins. They have real dominant downfield threats. They got Patty Mahomes. I really can't say too much about Patty Mahomes because he hasn't played too much. Kareem Hunt. As long as he has a good year again, Patty Mahomes will have a good year again. A good first year. I guarantee you that. They have Eric Fisher, great left tackle. Like, the line's pretty good. And Travis Kelce, of course, is like the second best, like in the top 2 or 3 tight ends in the league. But their defense, they have to rely on Eric Berry. They got Kendall Fuller, a nice young cornerback, but they got rid of Marcus Peters. I understand Marcus Peters was a headache in the locker room, and they wanted more dominance over it, so they got rid of him. But they could have traded for way more than they got. Now, you got Eric Berry, Kendall Fuller is your back. You got Anthony Hitchens as your one true good linebacker. And you really don't have any big names in the line. So, it's just, this game is going to be shootout more than anything, is what I feel. Is that they're relying solely on Mahomes' natural ability, that it might just be a little too much pressure for him, I think. They're going to do good, don't get me wrong, but it's just going to be hard for them. Los Angeles Chargers. They ended on a real hot streak. Like, they were on the rise, on the rise, on the rise. I would have not wanted to play against these guys in the postseason, even if I was one of the top teams last year. So you got Phillip Rivers. He's aging, but he's still a monster. Melvin Gordon, still great. You got Mike Pouncey, that's an upgrade. The rest of your line is pretty solid. You got Forrest Lamp, hopefully he recovers. Keenan Allen, as long as he's healthy, he's gonna be good. You got Mike Williams, last year's first round draft pick. I personally like this receiving core. I think they got something good going on. They got the most well-established pass rush in the game between Melvin Gordon and Joey Bosa. They got Casey Hayward, great. Derwin James, they should not have even gotten. Should not have fell all the way here. They got lucky with that. And they didn't lose anyone important last year. They just took that squad, reloaded it, added Derwin James, and like a few people to the mix. And ooh, they are reloaded. And they are only on an upward slope if they can keep that momentum from last year. If they do that, they win the division. Hands down. But they need to keep the momentum. Alright, now there's the Oakland Raiders. I personally do not like this receiving core. The only one let me rephrase that. I don't like Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson was declining with Aaron Rodgers. He got the contract size he did because he played with Aaron Rodgers. You know, sure, he might actually be good, but I really don't think so. Because when you have a GOAT, you know, one of the people in the discussion for the GOAT throwing to you for your entire career, that inflates your value. Amari Cooper is pretty good. He needs some consistency. And I like the Martavis Bryant pick. That was a trade. That was a nice, solid trade. They got Colton Miller as their tackle. I don't know how I like that so much. I think he's good, but he needs a lot of help. They need a good offensive line coach. I really don't think they improved their line as much as they could. They got Brandon Parker. He was projected to be early. He was supposed to be an early second rounder, but fell all the way to the third to them. And may I just say, they've had a really, really good draft class. Is like Garyon Conley. He was hurt last year, but he's good again. And that was our first draft pick too. Now here's something interesting. Colton Miller, first round talent. PJ Hall, solid second round talent. Arden Key was a top 10 talent until he basically left LSU's football team for 6 weeks and then came back. And he dropped so far because of that incident and whether he had heart or not. So they got really good value there. And Maurice Hurst was in the discussion of the top 4 D tackles consistently, what if mixing up and down. But he had a heart condition that dropped him all the way down to the 5th. So they got 3 first-round talents in this year's draft. I know they got Garyon Conley, and then they got another person. I forget which one, but it was also another same situation where something caused them to fall back. But they're still a solid talent. I personally think this defense, within the next 2-3 years, you're going to have to watch out for it. They need to get big man, where is he? He's not even on the depth chart. Look at that. They need to get Khalil Mack re-signed. If they get Khalil Mack with Arden Key, Maurice Hurst, and PJ Hall, screw these guys. These guys can go. But if they have these three with Khalil Mack, bro, it's done. It's just done. They got Tahir Whitehead. I mean that was kind of bad, but I mean they played the game real well these past 2 years when drafting. Got some serious talent. Good bang for buck. Alright guys, that's going to be it for now. Thank you for tuning in for my AFC West analysis video. And tomorrow we will be covering the NFC. Stay tuned. Thank you for listening in. If you liked it, subscribe. And take it easy.